I'm a really big fan of that characterization slash development Fraudrin got in this chapter. Now, not to be mistaken for Dreyfus, I'm literally talking about Fraudrin. That interesting development that he got, with him looking at Grimoire and saying, Grimoire, and then he's stunned and froze up, and then Dreyfus attacked him, that lets us know one thing. It confirms that why Fraudrin hasn't removed himself from Dreyfus's body all along. And it's something many of us have been talking about for a long time now. I remember even mentioning it many months ago when I was talking about Fraudrin, his reveal and all that with Dreyfus and stuff. After many years, after like 10 plus years, being inside of Dreyfus's body, you'd think this man would have gotten enough power where he could finally get out and probably fight Meliodas and be completely fine. But he's continued to stay inside of Dreyfus's body, which it kind of seems pointless at this time. Because, I mean, if this man has built up so much power already, it's been so long, why would he need to stay in his body? Now we know. Apparently, Fraudrin has grown an attachment to this body, which he has stated a while ago. He had stated he was a little bit attached to Dreyfus's body, but now we know how attached he really was. He was so attached to Dreyfus's body that literally it changed his overall mindset and some of his demon nature or his traits that he normally would have if he wasn't attached to his body. Like, let's bring this up. A while back, okay, there was a chapter to where Fraudrin, when he was inside of Dreyfus's body, he was letting some of the characters alive. And he's like, wait, whoa, why am I letting you guys live and all that? And he turned around and tried to kill everybody, and he just walked off. Now we know why he was acting like that, because he grew too accustomed to being a human. And then on top of that, now, kind of being released from Dreyfus's body, when he looked at Grimoire, he thought he was still in Dreyfus's body, and he looked at him as if it was his son, and then he got attacked by Dreyfus. Now, the reason for this, and it's a very logical explanation, is that when you get into a habit, it's hard to break. Regardless of who you are, if you can form habits, then it's hard to break. I think all of us can agree, everybody probably has some form of habit you can get into. Let's say one of your habits in everyday life was to get up out of your bed, go to the bathroom, or get up out of bed, go get a glass of milk, or, get a drink of water. And that's like your morning ritual. That's what you always do every time you get up. It's a habit. Or if you always, said, good morning, mom, good morning, dad, or I love you, son, I love you, daughter, whatever, you say these type of lines every single day, a habit starts to form. Regardless of who you are, you live a lie long enough, you start to believe it, or a habit starts to form where it'll become second nature to you. You'll just start saying it. And even though Fraudrin, he is a demon in heart, he has formed this habit for many years to where he's grown accustomed to saying Grimoire or, acting like he's Dreyfus the entire time. And so this habit is formed where he feels like he is Dreyfus, and when shit like this happens, it leads to his own downfall. So the development that Nakaba-sensei brought up with Fraudrin, I like that. It makes a lot of sense. In a realistic standpoint, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. It didn't just come out of nowhere, because we do know if you live in someone's body long enough, that habit's just going to happen. There's going to be habits and different things that are going to build up, and you're just going to make those type of mistakes. You're going to still feel like you're in that person's body, and that's what happened to Fraudrin. So, Nakaba-sensei, good job. I appreciate that. If this is Fraudrin's last moment in the series, which I highly doubt, I really doubt Fraudrin will die that easy, I am honestly fine with it just because of how it was executed. I do enjoy and appreciate that. But let's talk about the main meat of this chapter. So, Dreyfus is finally free. He has finally been released from the clutches of Fraudrin. Dreyfus now is his own man. He literally has his body free. He is no longer being controlled by a demon. He now can live the life he wants. And we get to see that when he finally fights against Fraudrin. Now, this is a development that's been building up for a while, and I'm glad to see how we're getting a little bit more closure to this arc with Dreyfus, his little plot thread of the series, with how he's constantly been controlled, and now he's going through his redemption right now to finally free himself, and then probably raise his son. So, this right here makes me very happy how Nakaba-sensei's focusing on this, giving us some closure to Dreyfus/Fraudrin, and also getting to see Hindi too. It makes me very happy. But one of the things, though, that popped up in this chapter was that Zarathustra had to sacrifice himself to be able to free Dreyfus, which it was to be expected. I kind of already figured that's what was going to happen with the end of last week's chapter, but we found out in this chapter that Zarathustra did need to give up his own remaining life he had, pretty much his only regrets he had, to be able to save Dreyfus and make him free once again, and that's what happened. So, overall, the chapter, it was very simplistic, but it had a very interesting development with Fraudrin, and I just can't wait to see where it's going to go next. I personally don't believe Fraudrin is dead at this time. I mean, if this man can survive an attack from Meliodas, just think about this, okay? If this man can survive an attack from Meliodas when he's full-on pissed off, many, many years ago at Danafor, there's just no way in fuck Dreyfus is going to be able to kill this man. I literally call bullshit. I'm just going to say, I literally call bullshit on Fraudrin dying right here. I mean, Dreyfus, there's no way he can kill this man at this time, at the very least, with that type of blow. I just doubt that right now. So, most likely Fraudrin, if I had to place any bets, he might escape, he might get away, and then, you know, he'll come back and eventually have to fight. But that's what I feel like is going to happen. Overall, it was a decent chapter. Can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.